Hello again, everyone. It's Jim here with another video update. It's been a little while, and so didn't have anything real, nothing big. I just wanted to share some thoughts that I've been thinking about recently in terms of my approach to food and diet and maintenance. I continue to, let's say, evolve on that and try to understand. I'm trying to understand myself. That's really where I'm at now with everything. I've been away from a while. I haven't been compelled to come up with new videos for a variety of reasons. Everything is good. Everything is fine. I'm continuing to do the same thing. I'm not changing. I just have my simple lifestyle, one meal a day, carnivore. I don't really deviate. Other than, you remember, back in the summer, I really deviated when I went on a trip to Italy. But that was kind of a test. And I keep thinking back to that trip and I think I've learned about myself. Doing that and deviating a lot has taught me something about myself. And so that's kind of the subject. I'm calling it keep it simple, stupid. But for me, I'm not calling myself stupid, but keep a simple structure. Maybe that's KISS. Keep a simple structure. That's what works best for me. Simple and structured environment. And why is that? Well, what do I mean? Simple is the way I live right now. I don't have to think. In the morning I have a coffee. At lunch I have a coffee. And at dinner I have 2 or 3 kinds of meat, somewhere 2 to 3 pounds, depending on what kind of meat it is. And I don't have to think a lot about it. The only decision is how I'm going to cook the meat. If it's going to be sous vide, stovetop, crock pot, decisions like that. Real simple and real structured. Because, when I think back to my old self, before, when I just would continue to gain weight and lived as an obese guy for decades, I didn't think about it. I didn't think about what I was doing, and I had no structure. And therefore, I had nothing guiding me. And I've just relied on ad-libbing everything. I would, whatever struck me, I did it. I would eat anything. And in any quantity, at any time of day. And so there was no structure, and it was complex because I was eating several times a day and buying different foods, and I was frustrated because I didn't know what kind of foods to buy or eat, and I knew I wasn't healthy or whatever, and it wasn't the greatest lifestyle. But the thing is, I didn't seem to be able to get out of it. I didn't have a way out. Whatever method I tried really hard to force my way into a different lifestyle, and I always failed. Those days are gone now, and I got the simple, structured lifestyle, and that works. What I noticed from the few times when I've been out of my simple structure, it's always been like on a trip. Let's say when I go somewhere on a business trip or like a vacation, when I'm away from home and I'm away from my structure, it becomes a little more complicated because I have to make different arrangements for food. So there's a little extra complexity there. And I don't have the normal cues, daily cues. There's other things going on. There's other events. I'm with other people. I'm out of my structured environment. And when I'm out of that structured environment, that's when, my mind sort of drifts. And I'm not focused, let's say, on myself the way I normally am at home. And there is a drift. And it can be very subtle, and you don't even recognize it's going on. It's just maybe a decision to eat a little more of something than you normally would. And then you think, the next 2 or 3 days later, you think, oh yeah, that's normal. I did that before. Suddenly things that weren't normal become normal before you realize it. So you drift. And I have found that I drift if I just go ad lib, if I try to go, without a structure. Next thing you know, if I just go totally ad lib, down the road, a few months later, I find myself I'm eating more. If I don't track my food, that's another thing that I've been doing over the past year and a half. Largely, I've been recording it. So this is kind of a structure that I like. And it's a reset point. When I feel I've drifted, I go back to chronometer and I start tracking my food again. And that's when the light went on and I realized, oh my gosh, I've drifted because what I was eating was more than what it used to be. So, I think it's just a personality quirk of mine. I'm sure a lot of people are like that. A lot of people aren't like that. A lot of people don't need that structure. But I think what I'm trying to say is I learned about myself that I need to stay, with some guide rails, with some structure. To prevent the drifting. And believe me, a lot of the structure comes from just doing one meal a day in the carnivore. That eliminates a lot of potential disruption just by doing that. But even within that, like I said, I found that I would, if given the chance, drift and start eating more meat and maybe having more coffees and more heavy cream. And before I realize it, I'm kind of eating 500,000 more calories a day, So anyway, I've been back to kind of a reset to a structured lifestyle, and I feel good. Recognizing that I need. I like the tracking of the food. I never thought I'd be a person that wanted to track the food, but I do that now. Just like I track my weight, I also weigh my food now, and it's like a little extra security blanket. I feel good doing it. I kind of know that I'm not drifting. I'm sure not everybody needs that. I'm positive not everybody needs that, but I think I do. I think I just have to recognize that I have a few weaknesses around food, and that's one of them that I'm gonna stick with. Yeah. So what do I want to say on that? Since the summertime, I think I've recounted this. I went to Italy and then I went way off plan, and I think in 4.5 days, as I recall, I gained 9 pounds. And then it pretty much all came off. But then it drifted back up a little bit. I'm now, where I am today, I'm up 4 pounds from where I had been sitting for a long time. I kind of was right on a 165 weight for a long time, plus or minus a few pounds. And now I'm 169, plus or minus. Actually, not really much plus or minus. I'm really holding really rock solid on the 169. But anyway, I can't really explain why that weight jump took place. Maybe it's from some of the training I'm doing, or maybe I picked up some muscle or some fat. I'm not sure. But I no real problem with it. But it's just an observation, and I'm not going to try to lose that weight. It seems pointless. I'm doing everything that I used to do. I just weigh more now, a little bit. So everything's going well. I have the same energy, and I feel good about everything. that kind of leads me to another topic, final topic for today. I just wanted to share some comments. I haven't been making as many videos. I'm sure many people have noticed, and one of the reasons for that is that I haven't been feeling always real positive after I do a video. It's been actually sometimes a negative experience based on the interaction I have from some people. Now, largely with my regular audience and commenters, it's like 90% positive. But there are some people that come by either on my channel or actually I've got a popular my weight loss story that's on 6 Miles to Supper has got like 270,000 views, and I used to interact with the comment section on there, which has got thousands of comments, but I stopped doing it because there was it was about 90% positive, but then there's a negative side to it, and it starts to eat away at me a little bit. I mean, let me back up a little bit. My change over the past 3.5 years has been dramatic, and I realize that I look different now. I have a different lifestyle, but I look radically different. And the thing is, people that knew the old me and see me now, once they're used to it, okay, it's fine. But the first time is like this shock and I know what they're thinking. They're thinking like, oh my God, are you okay? Did you get cancer? And when I tell them what I did and how I eat and once a day, they're like, there's this look like, oh my God, this guy is a nut. That's, and basically, I'm kind of tired of it. I'm tired of being, I don't know, sometimes I feel kind of like a freak. And I'm kind of tired of that. I mean, I want to tell my story and I want to encourage others, but it's kind of nice to sometimes, I mean, a lot of times, I just prefer to be around strangers, people that don't know the old me. Because then I know how they're looking at me. I know what they're thinking. They're not thinking anything strange. They're just thinking, oh, here's this guy. But the people, like I said, the people that see me and haven't seen me in a long time, there's this, I know what they're thinking. And I know from the comments certain people make, it's not always positive. And it's easy to ignore. Some of them are easy to ignore. Others are harder to ignore. And it sort of eats away at me after a while. And after a while, I'm questioning myself, am I some kind of freak or what, did I do something wrong? I start to question myself. Despite the fact I feel great, I feel fine, I start having self-doubts. And that's kind of I've been trying to keep a positive frame of mind. And so that's why I've kind of been away for a little bit. But the negativity, it's largely in two areas. Number one, this is easy to handle. It's people comment about my looks. Okay, frankly, I don't come on and try to say, hey, what I did, I look great, and this is the way to look. This is the fountain of youth, and I look so much younger. I get people saying, oh my God, you look 20 years older, and negative comment, you look bad, you look unhealthy, and I don't know what to say to that. And largely, I just ignore it, especially if they're the kind of people that you can tell they're just trolls or people who like to inject negativity all the time. I can ignore them. But there's some people that seem sincere, and they might, they might come on and say, oh, I love this video. Thanks for the motivation. I really need to do something. By the way, you look very old now. I mean, it's like, stab you in the back with first a compliment and then a stab in the back. But look, I can't help the way I look. Maybe I do. Maybe I am older now. To be honest, it isn't my biggest concern in the world. I am 100% interested in how I feel, and nobody can tell me how I feel. I know how I feel. I don't feel old. I feel like I did when I was young, and but after a while, it just kind of eats away at your mind. It's like, am I doing something wrong? Did I? It just creates some self-doubt. The other one, the other negativity, and sometimes it's combined, is the people that say, you're too skinny. You've gone too far. You're too thin. And that I really question, and I would challenge that. I mean, yeah, I can't control how I look, and maybe I do look old. I don't know. Largely, people don't say I look old. I mean, it's mainly, I'm going to say like 80-90% people say I look good, I look better, but then there's people that say I look older. Who knows? But as far as being too skinny, what I found, I was going through a box of memorabilia recently, and I forgot I had these photos. These are some photos of me in high school, and I was kind of shocked, and I'm gonna show you them, and not and remember, this is the 70s, so no comments about the hairstyle or whatnot. But when I was on my weight loss journey, I didn't want to stop short. I didn't want to be a partial success. After a while, I said, I want to get back to the weight I was in high school, which I kind of estimated. I knew it was I knew it was around 175 pounds. I didn't weigh myself that much in high school, but anyway, these photos, you can see I was an athlete. I played football and baseball, and you can see in that photo, in these photos, actually, I'm pretty much the same weight now as I was then. And so that was a big goal for me to kind of get back to high school weight. Now, I'm older and I don't have quite as much muscle, but if I'm too thin now, I was too thin back then. And I don't ever remember being ridiculed for being too thin. In fact, I was one of the bigger people, And so I think what this tells me is there's this perception now, people take it as normal being, 20, 30, 40 pounds overweight. This is seen as, this is normal. You look at, there's many sites you go to, you look at photos like the photos of the kids at Woodstock or other community gatherings back, or school gatherings in the 50s and 60s and 70s. The people were thinner then. I mean, you didn't have this obesity like we have now. And so I think our estimation of what's normal has been all impaired. So I challenge people that say I'm too thin. I don't feel too thin. I was never a big person. I'm pretty much the same as I used to be when I was in high school, which I'm proud of that fact. Based on where I was 3.5 years ago to be at my high school weight, I mean, that I couldn't have imagined that 3.5 years ago. But anyway, here I am. So it's not always, I know people, and I'm not trolling for compliments or people that say, oh, Jim, you look good, or you don't look old. I'm not looking for that. I just wanted to say that, I try to interact with the people who make comments to me on YouTube. I try to interact with all people. And so I read them all. I know there's many people that put up YouTube content. They don't even look at the comment. I mean, it's just totally ignored. You know, that isn't really why I'm doing this. My idea is to interact. But if it brings me down, or if that one comment, you know, it's like, here's another guy, here's another person that says, you look bad, you look old, you know, it's, maybe after a while you start to think, maybe these people know, you know, maybe these people are right, you know, and maybe I did it all wrong. Maybe I am too thin. You know, you just start second guessing yourself, and maybe I should be stronger and not second guess myself. But I guess I'm just being honest and saying sometimes I do. But at the end of the day, I'm not changing anything. If I look old or not, it doesn't matter. I'm going to be turning 61 in February, and I have no illnesses. I take no drugs, and I work out 4 or 5 times a week, and I've got all the energy and vitality more than I've had ever as an adult. So I'm not changing anything, and that's that. But anyway, I'm rambling on, and I resist. I wasn't ever sure to bring this up or not. It's sort of been bothering me a little bit for a while, and I didn't want to try to come across as like looking for sympathy or whatever. I'm not. I'm just telling you. I'm just being honest and saying how it is. So, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to talk about keeping a structured lifestyle. Hopefully for people, this might be something helpful for somebody out there. That structure, those like guardrails, that can get you through. If you stick to the guardrails, stick to your plan, you know, for long enough, pretty soon, maybe you don't need the guardrails anymore. Or maybe like me, you're fine with it, and it keeps you on the straight and narrow. But that's kind of where I am. Anyway, yeah, no. I know I'm going to get comments on those photos about hairstyles or whatever. Remember, that was the 70s. Anyway, I'm having some fun with this now. I think, yeah, that's about all I wanted to say today. This is Sunday. I had one workout already. I'm going to go out and have a coffee. I think you can see I'm hoarding bottled water over here now. I used to have like one or two cases, and now you can see I'm hoarding it. It's because this Gerolsteiner water that I like. Sometimes they run out of it, and it's not available for maybe a month or so. So I've been kind of stocking up. I can survive an outage now because I love that water. There's nothing quite like it. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this up now. I hope everyone's doing well, and leave me a comment, positive or otherwise. I don't care. And that's about it. I can't think of anything else at the moment. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty much the same for me. I haven't changed anything. I still feel great. I'm maintaining well. And I'm not going to change anything for the foreseeable future. So thanks to everyone for watching and listening. And if you got any questions or I need to clarify something, please let me know. Until next time, this is Jim signing off. Take care, everyone.